Hi, I'm Yappo, and with me today is Gridlocked.
I have no reason to be here.
So my usual Aussie is incredibly sick. Apparently, he is so sick he can't even eat tacos, which is quite sad. So I had to get a loner Aussie.
Don't try to reroll.
And turns out you can jump in this game. It took me 6 videos to figure that out, but I finally did. Jumping's a thing. Who knew?
I don't know, I haven't actually seen this game before, ever. Although I've heard a lot of good things about it.
We've talked a lot about it previously, how it's got a lot of good features. But in the meantime, we're going to go upgrade the Magnum Opus. Because we were struggling a little bit, so we're just going to upgrade literally everything. And as you can see, when you upgrade stuff like the engines, it ups your acceleration, but drops your handling and top speed because you have made your car heavier. So it's one of those trade-offs as to how much engine you want versus how much armor and stuff, and just the whole thing. So I try and keep it fairly balanced.
Kind of standard video game car mechanics, really?
Yeah, luckily a lot of the like the tires and the suspension and stuff just straight up make your car better. And none of the weapons count against your stats, so you can just upgrade the weapons whenever you want and not worry about it.
Oh man, like I can just think of all the fun you can have with Mad Max weapons and stuff. Here we go, just cover my car in spikes.
Yeah, so we're doing a lot of pretty good upgrades. So this is the max level spikes. This is spikes everywhere, because why would we mess around with that spikes only in a few spots thing? Gotta get more spikes. We also have spikes on our wheels, so if we drive next to a car now and kind of rub up against them, we actually will start damaging them from the giant wheel spikes.
Can you shred tires in this game? Hope you can shred tires.
Yes, you can.
Oh boy.
I actually have a problem in this game with using my shotgun to destroy everyone's tires and running out of shotgun shells constantly. It's a problem.
Obviously, being the loner Aussie and having not seen any of your previous videos, I appreciate your paint job, but I question it.
You don't like my... This is actually, I think, a new paint job for this video. It might have been in last video as well. But I like it. It's fun. It's nice and bright, you know. You gotta show those people out in the wasteland that you mean business.
Yeah. I mean, again, haven't played the game, but it looks good. Like,
so we're actually on our way to do a I would call it like a miscellaneous quest. We haven't seen them before, but the miscellaneous quests show up as encounters across the wasteland and basically just give you a Griffith token, which is like your levels in this game, if you finish them. Usually they're pretty easy. This one is clear out like 6 or 7 spots with a few enemies in them. And I've already done, I think, 3 or 4. And once you do that, you just get a free level. So it's helpful. I know there's one that I'll probably include some clips of later where it just marks a bunch of jumps on your map and you have to go hit a bunch of really rad jumps. And that's it. That's the side quest.
I appreciate the simplicity. I also appreciate the open world looking style of play. Again, like the third time, have not actually played this game, so any comments are probably going to be repeats of earlier other commentary, but it's a blind LP to me, and there's a lot of... I hope I'm going to be pleasantly surprised.
You're here for the Aussiness. We gotta up the Aussie factor at least once. So
it's getting me into the open world stuff before I inevitably disappoint myself by picking up Shadow of War and being scarred by microtransactions.
I know when I played Shadows of Mordor, I cleared out like all the generals one time, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing great." And I logged off and didn't play for like a week and came back, and they were all back, and I was like, "What the hell, game? What is this?" Not understanding the mechanics of the game and how it all worked, and got really mad and never went back to that game.
It certainly gets me in the mood. I really like the oh man, I do like that vehicle-on-vehicle combat is a thing.
That is actually one of the main things, and it's one of the we've talked about it a little bit before, but part of the issue, which we'll see later in this video, actually, is a lot of the side stuff is not in your main vehicle, so you spend all this time and effort like getting your vehicle exactly how you want it, and then a lot of the parts of the game are just like, no. So this is the only reason these side quests are difficult, is this is the entrance. It's not really marked. It's really hard to see because that's it. It's all that sticks up over the sand.
I mean, it makes sense in a thematic
Creepy underground
sort
layer,
of thing.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of form a bunker of these super ragey ass nutcases.
Buzzards.
The generic other faction that popped up in Fury Road.
That's true.
And very little plot about who they were except being the buzzards.
To be fair, I mean, Fury Road had very little plot in general.
I felt that it had enough plot to be an enjoyable, fun action film, and there was enough background there that hopefully whoever made this game had something to work with. And I've heard a lot of good things about it.
And yeah, I mean, it was perfectly fine for the movie as it went, but we're also...
I do question why the hole in the ground suddenly just exploded, and it's like it wasn't even there now.
Because we planted a bunch of bombs on that little thing that was presumably holding up the thing. I
don't know, but
exactly how the bombs
it just seems, it's just turned back into empty ground instead of being like a collapsed mine shaft or something. It's just empty ground now.
I guess that makes sense. So this is
a
actually
little place.
Jeet's mission that we're working on right now, because partly because I need to get through some missions, and partly because I was tired of having all these little extra blue dots on my radar. So, gotta get it taken care of.
Not sure why Max has a beard. Don't think I've ever seen Max have a beard in any of the films.
Also has a sweet pair of goggles.
So does... I mean, there's this... From what I've read, because I did read up on this a little bit before I started watching, this is set before Fury Road, so this is kind of like how Max got to that position is in Fury Road, where he's being captured by the dudes.
Kind of. It's kind of a really weird, loose time frame, because technically Fury Road isn't a reboot. It technically takes place in the larger Mad Max universe, like with 1, 2, and Thunderdome.
Yeah, just
so,
kind of.
It's kind of all over the place.
It's suddenly Tom Hardy instead of Mel.
It's one of those things that I think it's best to not think about too much, and just kind of go like, all right, we'll just accept that he either has the car or he doesn't. Because at the start of this game, we actually have the Interceptor still, and we lost it. So the Magnum Opus is basically our attempt to recreate the Interceptor.
Oh, okay. So this isn't actually the Max car. This is
the guy in the back.
Completely new car.
Is named Chumbucket, and he's building us this car as we go, which is why we have to upgrade it.
Yeah. Well, I'm appreciating this kind of neat little... Again, feels like it's out of the film. Well, it's a little bit weird that he's got the lock on.
Yeah,
that enemy car is literally out of the film.
Yeah, they did a good job of doing that sort of thing. And the Thunderpoon is really good, which is the ranged weapon I'm using, but it feels like cheating to me always.
It seems like it's lock on when it shouldn't be lock on. Do you know what I mean? Like, I saw it curve.
Yeah, it just feels like cheating, and I don't know that I can really explain why. It's just like, oh, this is easy mode for this.
I appreciate that you've got your little helper, though. That's not something I would have actually expected out of a Mad Max game. Just the random little helper, but...
He actually
kind of makes
is
sense.
The entire, good part of... It's really, really helpful to have him, and the way they've done his mechanics, I think, is really good, with how they've done his character, and just how the game mechanics work out with him.
I'm sure at some point he'll pull the sudden but inevitable betrayal, or he will die in a horrible way, and you'll have to avenge his death.
So you think he's going to either betray us, or we are going to... or he's going to just die a horrible death and we'll have to go avenge him?
Probably. Those are my two guesses. I'm probably 50-50 on him, but he'll either betray you at the end, and we'll see the tie-in as to how How this connects to Fury Road. Because I did read, again, but from what I read, it was some sort of a prequel to Fury Road to a degree. So we might see that, or there'll be the final kind of... He'll die in the final mission sequence and you'll have to avenge his death.
Interesting.
Although,
thoughts.
is there post-game content? Can you just keep roaming around the wasteland after the plot's finished?
So after the final mission, it basically just drops you into the open world and says, hey, if you didn't do anything else, have fun. Or if you need to do anything else, just go have fun.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe he doesn't die in that case. Then, just in case they want to have a story reason to keep him around with that. But it depends which way they want to take it.
Well, we will see here in... Actually, I don't know how many videos it's going to take to get to the end of this. It might be a hot minute. I don't remember...
Is it a terribly long game?
It's not a super long game as far as the actual plot goes, but because there's so much stuff to do on the side, it ends up being a pretty long game. I think it took me 30 or 40 hours to finally get around to beating it the first time.
So, kind of like Shadow, going back to the games that we know, Shadow of War in that sense that it will... The plot itself actually isn't a very long, big plot, but you end up, by design, doing a lot of this side content, and that chews up time. That is an actual plot.
Which we've talked about this previously, but just for your reference, some of the side content is really good, and some of the side content is really, really grindy and just awful.
Yeah, sounds like Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor. I do appreciate getting to fight the War Boys, though. That's really, really neat.
Yeah, there's actually a bunch of special War Boys that we'll see eventually too, but the generic ones are kind of pushovers.
As they should be, because you're an action star hero, and they're mooks.
That is true.
Is there a faction system?
There are, but the only thing the faction system's really good for is the different achievements for killing different members of the different factions.
Okay. You can't do cool stuff like kite them into other members of other factions and watch them kill each other and...
Not really, because if they start attacking each other and they get low enough on health, they just run away.
Oh.
And you have to go chase them down. Or just let them drive away sometimes, because sometimes it's just not worth it. Because you have limited resources as far as your Thunderpoon goes, and as far as your fuel goes, and all that other stuff. So sometimes it's just I'll just let him go.
This really friggin' reminds me excellently of Shadow of Mordor and the Arkham series like that. I'm actually very impressed.
The main combat is basic. Well, it's made by WB Games, so they
straight out of Arkham.
Yeah, stole the Arkham combat system and made it a little more murdery, I guess you'd say.
More weapony stuff and less Batman gadgets.
Yeah, because Max gives no fucks about who he kills. It's just whatever, whoever's there.
I take it that means somewhere around there's going to be some sort of mini game or side quest or whatever you want to call it, where it's just you in an arena and it's just fight as many dudes as you can.
Sort of. So, I also decided I was going to try and use my boost and climb the rock wall here. It's yeah, I can make this.
I don't think that's how physics works.
I will say, I gave it the old college try, though. And almost made it. If I could, adjust, tilt the vehicle over, I would have totally made that.
You do have the four-wheel drive. You could have gotten some power to the front there.
Yeah,
nope.
I still could have totally made it. But I gave it a couple tries and was alright, I guess I'll just take the long way around. So...
Then we get a jump cut.
Yeah, because the long way around is 3 minutes of driving. So we're going to go, we're off headed to the last part of this, miscellaneous quest, and then we're going to finish up the regular quest, and we're going to do a death run, which will be the first time we've seen a death run.
Oh, cool. Death run sounds like some really cool driving gauntlet of some sort.
That is basically exactly it.
Oh, sweet.
So the death runs are all, you start here, you end here, and it marks a path that it's like suggested for you to take. But you don't necessarily have to take that path. And some of the AI cars actually know the shortcuts and stuff, so you have to get a little crafty. And it puts you in a set vehicle that you have to drive, which is one of the things I don't like about it, because you spend so much time working on your car, and then it's like, oh, here, take the stock car and just do whatever.
Can you, like, hijack another dude's car while you're doing it, sort of thing, or?
Not quite. There are a few options. But
I was hoping for the cool, jump on top of the semi-trailer and fight on the back of it, and then steal the semi-trailer, again, straight out of the films, but whatever.
Only if they're fake semi-trailers, though, because that's the big thing in the films.
Yeah, but it's the fun of it, isn't it? You're just getting to recreate the films?
Kinda. I feel like this game, if you like open world games and kind of like the, Arkham-style combat and stuff, stands decently on its own. Even if you hadn't really had any experience with Mad Max.
Yep. So you were asking before, are there any Australian things that I notice in this? Call out the landmarks and all that sort of thing? Absolutely nothing whatsoever in Australia has bones that big, sitting out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, this is actually, we're on the part of the map that was previously ocean.
Ah, okay.
So,
cool.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like whales, and if you look around, we've been hitting like coral heads, and you'll see a few like shipwrecks here and there.
Oh, that's really neat. Well, bad news then, it's going to be hard for me to spot, Australian landmarks in the middle of the ocean.
Eventually we'll go a little further north, and we'll see some more stuff like that, but...
And this is really dark.
Yeah, the buzzards basically only find buzzards in like really dark underground caves. But because the lighted eyeballs and just the way the parry system works, I don't feel like it's too hard to track them or anything.
No, it just I don't know, it feels, I don't like the ridiculously dark areas and stuff. I always end up setting my brightness a lot higher in games so I can see everything. Even if it means I have to constantly switch between brightness settings.
Yeah, that's far too much effort for me. I just roll with it. So we've been kind of making our way across the south of the map here, and
Classic Yappo, ignoring pickups.
Yeah, that's the problem, is most of the pickups aren't worth the time to get out of the car. Like, straight up, it's just a waste of time.
Is there an upgrade at some point that you can pick things up with your car?
Sort of. So we have the scrap crew, who, if we destroy a vehicle, will come out and pick up the stuff from the destroyed vehicle. Since that wasn't a vehicle, that was one of the scarecrows, we have to get out and do it ourselves.
But that's the thing you will get eventually, just destroying vehicles basically will give you an income.
See, there you go, someone ran off a road and destroyed themselves, so we get scrap for it.
Ah, the cleanup crew, yep. Does it give you a plot reason why you have a cleanup crew?
Yes, so there are strongholds all over the map who are people who are friendly-ish to us. And we build a project to let them have a cleanup crew basically in their strongholds.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
all you're doing is talking about cool little base buildy, awkward, weird mechanics that just make me look really forward to Shadow of War and how disappointed I'm going to be at that game. God damn.
So
maybe I will buy this one instead.
It is or was on sale. I think the sale has probably ended by now, but it was on sale for like
on sale at Christmas.
$7, which is totally worth it for this game. And I'm like,
sulfur
okay, yeah, here's the quest. Yeah, we have to get some sulfur so some guy can make us some black powder.
Black powder, definitely what you need in the future.
So we gotta have black powder to get some new shotgun shells eventually. Because just like in the movie, shotgun shells are quite hard to find. But we're gonna go do our death run now.
So does this feature any locations from the movie? Like they used to talk about like the bullet farm and whatever that other place was.
So they mentioned the bullet farm, but we actually our next main quest is actually to go to Gastown.
Ah, okay, so locations from the movie do pop up.
Yes.
Not ones that actually featured in the movie, but ones that were talked about.
Yes. Although, I don't think there's anything from the original trilogy that's really brought up.
That's understandable to a degree, though.
And now we get to meet the best character.
Here comes a wanderer.
I don't understand why he has an exposed stomach and pants cut super low, but...
Welcome you to the circle of light, to the circle of the brave, the skilled and the quick. You've come very
Crodazzle is amazing.
but are you one who seeks to win a name for himself, or who wishes to bind to the heart of his machine?
I especially like his giant crow gas mask thing.
It is pretty cool. I like his very Central Australian accent.
There are some who come to crow.
Is that actually an accurate Central Aussie accent?
You know, I haven't actually talked to that many people from the Red Centre, so I'm not really 100%. I'm from the coast, as we established earlier. I live on the east coast, so I haven't actually met that many people from Central or the West Coast because I've never travelled in that direction. But I will say it's not a bad Australian accent. It's a very believable, if not probably a real Australian actor, which is much better than hearing an American trying to do an Australian accent, and it's really bad.
So we actually have two options. We can take our magnum opus and do it that way, or we can choose one of the random vehicles.
And it looks like you get more rewards for doing the random vehicle. Like you get better rewards.
Yes, so we get basically a level up if we win. Also, I don't know how that guy did it in 3 seconds. Presumably he cheated, but...
Sweet hacks.
We're not going to do that because our magnum opus isn't super cool. So, yeah, so we picked the first vehicle and we're off. So, in addition to the time requirements, you have to finish first. And if you don't finish first, you lose. Even if you finish...
I was about to say, wow, amazing, you went for 2 seconds and you lost. All you did was hit go, but obviously it was a jump cut.
Yeah, I didn't feel the need to have everybody watch it twice, because that's just unnecessary. So I was like, alright, I got this now.
I like the person getting dragged out from underneath your car just before you take off. That's a neat little...
The other real nice thing is that it completely resets to what you were when you started it if you retry.
Okay, so any resources you use...
Yeah, so like shotgun shells I used up a lot of last time, and it's like, oh, here's all your shotgun shells back.
I do appreciate that obviously starting at the back of the pack is actually much better than starting at the front.
Yeah, because then you can
you're just going to shoot people.
Yeah, makes it a lot easier.
It appears this Volkswagen Beetle monster or whatever it is has got just a really useful explodey can in the back in an exposed position.
Yeah, so you can see the road here that we're on is kind of red, and that's the official marked race path. But this AI just completely cut across the map and is now in front of us because he's a jerk.
So you're gonna...
Yep.
Well, that's one way to win the race, just eliminate the competition.
So now I am the only one racing. So I can't not finish first, but I do still have to try and finish in the set amount of time.
Oh, okay. You don't just get a free win for killing everyone?
No. You have 2 time limits. One to get the trophy, which I forget exactly what the trophies do. I think there's achievements for getting so many trophies. And then one slightly faster time to get the free level up.
Okay, and that's what you get for using the game vehicle and not your custom one.
Yes, is the free level up is the big draw. And if you do get the trophy, you unlock the vehicle that you can choose anytime to drive. So,
obviously different vehicles have different stats.
Yes, driving on sand is also quite difficult in this game, despite how arcadey it is.
Oh man, get that fucking level up, Yappo. Fuck, get that level up, Yappo. Shit.
It's good, we got it.
Oh, jeez.
I'm pretty sure the breakoff is 154. Like, you have to be better than 154 to get it.
Damn.
So I was like 0.2 of a second off. So this is actually Gutgash's stronghold that we've built a couple things in for, and he's got a mission for us. So since we're here, we're gonna just go do that.
Nice warehouse.
This is actually a ship.
Ah. Oh yeah, I can see the very ship looking. I played enough Fallout to know what a broken ship looks like.
The strongholds we've seen so far are an old abandoned lighthouse, this giant ship, and then an old nuclear reactor.
Oh, that sounds safe.
Right? They're actually just in the cooling tower, so it's not quite so bad, but...
Oh man, these guys got crossbows. I hope you can get a crossbow.
The only thing I get is the shotgun. Also, what am I... Oh, this is what
really?
I'm doing.
That's a bit disappointing that you don't get other weapons. So you get your shotgun and no other guns, just alternate ammo.
I mean, to be fair, the shotgun is the drop holster is the absolute classic Mad Max weapon.
Oh, it is, yeah, but...
Across literally all of the films.
Oh, yeah.
All around us, the grounds were covered in wet, salty water full of
This is actually my least favorite
My people
NPC in this game, probably, because he's a big blowhard.
We must patch our ship
And I hate doing
Obviously, Max thinks he is as well.
I hate doing missions for him, but he's got really good mission rewards, so we kind of got to.
I live in a boat.
Seen acute necessity to armor this wreck up, prepping for the wave of man scum which will soon come crashing down.
Yeah,
He sounds like a really wild, one of those stereotypical Southern American preachers who's predicting the apocalypse will come.
Except in this case, it's the reverse of the apocalypse,
Rotted sheets of wave.
as far as getting the ocean back and stuff.
With it I can reward you.
Sounds crazy enough, he'd probably try to drink it.
Find plenty extra.
Possibly, but they've already, most of these places already have, like, big water collection facilities and stuff with tarps, basically. But yeah, the gist of it is we gotta go find him a bunch of actually good steel. And if we find him some good steel, he'll make us some cool steel plates for our car.
Ooh.
But they are, of course,
talk to you.
very far away.
Why wouldn't they be?
Yeah, right? So I fired up the map and I was like, okay, where's the... Oh my god, it's all the way over here.
On the very edge of the map. Why?
So we're just gonna cheat a little bit and fast travel. 'Cause
Yep, that's good.
We've driven between these two several times already.
So, do you reckon this game suffers from that problem that that pops up in a lot of really big open world games, where you have all this stuff that you can drive around in or run around in and explore, but then you unlock fast travel options, and after the first maybe one or two times, you eventually just start fast traveling, and that makes you miss out on bits?
Yes and no, because there's a lot of small, like, 1 or 2 minute content in the middle in the way of scavenging locations for extra resources, as well as a few random encounters, and then things like the car-to-car combat. It doesn't ever really feel like there's a reason to fast travel unless you need to go, like, the entire length of the map.
Okay, so the game kind of... There's enough stuff that's going on that you kind of go, actually, you know what, I don't want to fast travel.
And things like the scarecrows and the sniper towers, when you're trying to clear out areas, you end up getting almost all of them if you just drive around a little bit, just because you drive past them and you take them out on the way by. So it usually works out. In this case, I've done a little too much grinding in this area, so it's a little boring, but I've been...
Again, I'm just thinking in regard to, Shadow Mordor, you ran around, you beat up a bunch of orcs, and then sometimes you'd kind of go, oh, I gotta go from here to here, and I don't want to run the whole way. But it's a similar thing, actually, with the whole, if I want to cross half a map, then yeah, I'll teleport, but otherwise I actually might just do the run, because there's stuff to see.
And I don't know why, but, I've played a shitload of Fallout. I haven't played a whole lot of Shadow Mordor, but it always feels more satisfying to do it in a car than it does running, even if it's the same time to get across. It's basically the same thing. It just feels more satisfying to drive it.
That's something that I suffered from a lot in Fallout New Vegas, actually, was missing out on incidental, or not not just New Vegas, Fallout 4. Fallout New Vegas less so, because I actually wanted to explore. But Fallout 4, it started feeling like all these generic buildings and stuff I don't want to explore because it's boring, but there's actually a lot of stuff there, and I missed out on it because I was just, oh, I've got to go do this mission, teleport. Okay, I finished this mission, got to teleport back to the base to sell all my shit. And I got to teleport elsewhere to continue with my quest and that sort of thing.
Yeah, like I said, it feels more satisfying to me to make the drive than it does running. And, you know, you get random cars that attack you on the way and things like that.
So this guy's just gone, fuck it, I'm just going to get out and punch you, but he doesn't know your max. But
yeah,
he's doing a pretty good job of dodging you.
Yeah, so he's one of the specialty enemies that will dodge everything, so you have to parry him to do any damage.
That's what you were saying before about specialty war boys.
It's also nice because the specialty war boys are color-coded.
Can't say I noticed. But I don't have a really great frame of reference, so...
So the yellow ones are the ones that will dodge everything, there's some blue ones that will block everything, and there's a couple others. There's grapply ones and things like that.
I'm a little bit disappointed that Max doesn't sound like Tom Hardy.
I'm not, because I watch The Road Warrior a lot, so I'm used to Mel Gibson more than Tom Hardy, and I feel like it's probably a decent compromise, because he looks reasonably like Tom Hardy.
But with a beard. Can you choose to shave the beard?
You can. As you gain more levels, you gain more face and facial hair options. We actually had a really long beard an episode or two ago. It was like super grizzly mountain man. Like
nice.
Start of Fury Road beard.
Ah.
So I actually really love this set piece, but I also really hate it because the scrap collection makes you stop doing the exploring and stuff and get out of your car far too frequently in what is otherwise a really, really cool set piece environment for this mission.
I think that's really cool.
And I continue to be bad at driving.
Went to the Grand Theft Auto School of Driving?
It's fine. Chum can fix it. It'll be fine. But I just think this is such a cool way to do this mission.
I mean, it would be really cool if it wasn't for every time you turn a corner you get stuck and you gotta reverse slightly.
And if you want to actually finish the area, you have to collect all the scrap as you go through. So you're stopping in the middle of this really like cool atmospheric area to pick up scrap. Just it feels like all the time. And I'm sure if I was trying to be a little more careful, I could make it through, but without damaging the car and too much. But what's the fun in that? Using the brakes.
I do love your companion's lunacy. Exercise that evil with my car.
This is one of the other really awkward things that happens. So anytime you break a barrier down, it stays there for a minute, and it eventually just fades out. Like anything,
but until then, it's a physics object that can be interacted with.
Yeah, so if you give it like 30 seconds, it just completely disappears. And so
that slows down progression again. You're there waiting.
I mean, usually it's not a biggie, but it's just one of those mild annoyances.
Oh, someone knew that there was dudes coming.
Yeah, and so instead of doing what I probably should do and getting out of the car and actually fight them, I'm just going to harpoon all of them.
Throw them around
because I love the harpoon.
That is pretty neat. Can you get other cool stuff, like using the harpoon to pick up pickups and stuff?
No, you're not quite like Link level, but Chum's a good shot, he's not that good of a shot. And also, for some reason, you can't use your harpoon to break this door open, but a crowbar totally works. Until someone punches you.
Oh. Yeah, lots of punched.
Yeah, they don't do that much damage, though, so these are still pretty basic enemies. They don't have weapons, they don't have knives, we're fine. So, we have talked briefly about Dinky D before, but I'm curious as to the real Australian Dinky D interpretation here.
Dinky die? Is what you mean?
Okay, is that
Like,
it?
as in the saying?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's just a colloquial saying. It means, you know, things are good. It's good. If you call something dinky die, then it's a good thing. It works. It does its job.
Because that is the official brand of dog food that we eat in this game. Is the Dinky Die brand.
Yeah, so that's like the genuine brand, the good brand, the true brand. It's like saying, you know, it's where we get a word, and the word is some bullshit thing we made up, and now we're just shorting it again. So it's like saying, you know, it's like saying if you're fair dinkum about something, you're being honest and truthful and good about something. It's all positive if it's something's fair dinkum. And dinky is just the contracted version of fair dinkum. Because we're just gonna contract the already small word.
So yeah, we found our steal. It's a giant subway car, and so we just have to push it out. Go recover it. And I also have to
giant.
stop every...
In this land of rusted cars, there's one that's completely unrusted. It's fine.
Well, I don't know. I'm just gonna assume the buzzards like worship it or something and keep it polished. Like if you can't worship it unless it's got a mirror shine. I don't know. We'll just go with it. I mean,
so also, the dog food's called Dinky Die dog food.
Mm-hmm.
It's Dinky Die, by the way, just so you get the pronunciation right. It's Die, not D.
Okay. Well, I am clearly not a proper Australian, so
that's okay. It's one of those things you'd have to learn anyway.
This is also one of those things that it's like, why can't I just push this car through the barrier and call it a day?
Nope. It might be big and heavy, but you have to use your tiny little crowbar to save it.
This time I actually have to use the harpoon, which makes slightly more sense, but I feel like if I can harpoon it out, I should be able to just plow through with the giant.
I really dislike that, having to get up and pick up the random piece of scrap in the otherwise empty area.
I mean, I guess theoretically I wouldn't have to, but it's just so important in this game that you can't really...
Well, the fact that it's there is the other problem. If it wasn't there, who cares? But the fact that it's there, you gotta do it. Like, at some point, the game is saying you need to do this thing if you want to achieve an objective or complete the game.
But it's a super cool atmospheric area where you have to like do all these things, and if you didn't have to get out of your car, I feel like it would be really, really cool. But as it stands, you got to get out all the time to crowbar stuff or collect.
And again,
scrap
this is that situation where you're trying to push it through the otherwise thin, useless barrier.
Yeah. Like, one shot of the harpoon, if I immediately retract it, is enough to just make it crumble. But the giant subway car is not enough. Not going to make its way through. But,
At least we get some nice visceral combat.
I feel like that's kind of the story of this game, is they took something that was really cool and good and then just made some really poor decisions with it.
Yeah, it happens in a lot of games, though, so you can't really blame it for being poor decisions. Great lighting quality here.
So you want to see some other bullshit? So there's some scrap that I need to pick up. But I ran out of the end of the car, so I overshot the landing platform, so I get to go do it again.
Yep, that's pretty standard in a lot of games. You've done that in, was it like the old Zelda games and stuff a lot too? You'd overrun it and Link would jump.
Yeah, but this isn't a platforming game. Like I say, it took me 6 videos to realize that I could jump. That's how little platforming there is in this game. And it's
6 videos plus, I assume you played the game earlier, as you said, so... Yeah. You went through a whole playthrough of it without knowing you could jump.
I think I might have known, but it was so infrequent that I forgot it even existed between when I finished the game last time and when I started this playthrough.
Yeah, I was going to say, at this point in time, isn't it like two years old now or something like that?
It came out a couple months after Fury Road did.
Yeah, and that was a couple of years ago.
So, yeah, I think it's just about 2 years old. I think it was released in November of 2015. Yeah, and instead of getting this, big epic finish, it's, oh, by the way, here's some more collectibles you need to grab on the way by.
Yeah, isn't that always the problem that a lot of these open world games have, though? There's so much content in the open world and story that they kind of go, oh, there's some open world stuff left that you can, of course, continue, and it feels incomplete because of it. It's like getting to the end of Fallout as our other example we were using earlier. Spoiler alert for Fallout 4. You get to the end of Fallout 4 and it's basically... That's it. No end. You did the thing. Carry on.
I do like that they take time to give you a giant cinematic of you just pushing this thing over the edge. And it turns out I missed one of the collectible things, and I was like, do I go back for it? Nope, just screw
fuck
it.
I also like how you're in someone else's territory on ages away on the map, but apparently you just put up this flare and it's all good.
Yeah, you can totally see it. He knows exactly what we're doing.
At least it's still there. At least it just doesn't randomly disappear.
That's true. I'm trying to remember... Oh, so Jeet... We're actually in Jeet's territory now instead of in Gutgash's.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. It's someone else's territory on the other side of the thing, and you just put up this little tiny flare in what appears to be some sort of really big bridge.
But Jeet's a super cool dude, and so we're actually going to go clear out all of Scrotus's influence from his territory real quick, because there's not a whole lot left.
Scrotus, that's a great name.
Yep, Scabrous Scrotus.
Oh boy.
He's the guy
that sounds like
car.
It's really itchy.
We put a giant chainsaw in his head, and that's
nice.
That's how we got the dog too. Is the dog was his attack dog, and it sucked as an attack dog, so he threw it off the road train we were on when he threw us off. And so
I didn't even know you had a dog.
The dog was like, "Hey, I'm just going to be your friend now, even though I tried to attack you literally 30 seconds earlier."
Because Max is a friend to all good and kind living things, as established in that film where he helped the kids.
Which one? Road Warrior or Thunderdome?
Wasn't that Thunderdome?
Well,
helped the kids.
He helped the kid with the giant silver boomerang thing in Road Warrior.
It's been a while since I watched. I can't remember. Do you guys? Is Road Warrior the original Mad Max for you guys, or is Road Warrior Mad Max 2?
Road Warrior's Mad Max 2.
Ah, okay. So what's the one where he saves the kids? No, it was Thunderdome. All the kids in the
story time. Yeah.
The story time, yeah. Which is kind of... I always found weird because it's vaguely making references to Native Australian, Indigenous Australian creation stories and mythology and stuff. Which is something that isn't done enough in film. Native Australian culture is really underappreciated, I feel. And there's a lot of cool stuff you can get out of it, but everyone ignores it because for some reason everyone really loves Japanese or Chinese or European ancient cultures. So something that would be really cool is like a video game or some sort of serial that uses that more.
So now we're just blowing shit up because we can. Because it's fun. Oh yeah, and the guys throw rocks at you. If you're too far away and they don't have a weapon, they'll just find a rock and chuck at you.
Oh, cool little metal skull.
Yep, those are our hood ornaments. We have a giant claw on the back right now, and a slightly different skull on the front, because you can never have enough skulls.
Oh, so you can get hood ornaments on the front and the back of your car.
Yeah, which I feel like is a bit of a misnomer, since it's a hood ornament. But I'll take it, because they're usually nice stat bonuses for your vehicle, so...
I really hope you can get cool little, like a Mercedes-Benz knockoff or something like that, the little star.
No, they're mostly all skulls and then Rockstar logos.
I was gonna say, damn, you can't get the Jaguar Jag?
No, but that would be swell.
Some, like, really horrible cobbled together Jaguar, whatever. You know what I mean. The cool little Jaguar that's on old Jaguars.
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out how to get to that thing to tear it down. Because we've already established I'm not great at climbing walls with my boost.
Can you just climb walls with your hands? Like a normal person?
No. Not in this game.
I'm going to take the guess then that it's probably going to have to be some really sick jump that you got to angle from.
But we're going to try it anyway. Almost there.
I'm impressed that your car went vertical and didn't just immediately flip over.
Jump Bucket does good work, man. He has really balanced his car out.
He has. He's defied physics. There you go. I was right.
Pretty much you can assume
There's
if you have trouble getting somewhere, there's a sick jump hidden nearby.
That's pretty neat. Threat lowered. So I take it Jeet is just some cool, friendly dude, or semi-friendly dude, as friendly as you can be in Mad Max. And we're helping tear away influence of the evil guy from his territory, so Jeet feels more free to help us.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
I also like that when your car is damaged enough that it's on fire, you get flames licking the edge of the screen the whole time.
That's cool.
But yeah, Jeet's the only one that doesn't make us do a bunch of shit for him to help us. He's just like, yeah, alright, I guess you can come and work here if you promise to help us in the future. Whereas everybody else is like, no, you
never deliver on it.
You gotta go prove yourself first. Or we have to rescue them before they help us, or, you know.
Obviously, they all have some vague thematic backing. So the dude in the boat's got his vague worship of the sea, apocalypse cult backing theme.
Yeah.
So what's Jeet's vague theme?
Jeet's actually one of the least, like, themed ones. He's just like, I'm just trying to make it not suck for all of the people who live in my territory.
Oh, good luck to him.
It's just like, I just want a place for everyone to live and feel safe.
I appreciate your 50 cal.
With the giant, like, 16-foot long barrel. It's not quite that long, but it's quite long.
It looks like it is a spring-powered elephant gun.
It's probably not an inaccurate description.
Does it have unlimited ammo, so you can just...
No, it does not. The only thing that has unlimited ammo is the harpoon, basically, because you reel it back in every time. Other than that, ammo is a pretty finite resource, and it's pretty important in the early game until you get some of the upgrades that let you not care so much.
Yeah, I imagine it gets to a point in the game where you are able to not care. So here's what we're talking about with the color-coded.
Yeah, so all the regular war boys are just regular trash enemies. The yellow ones will dodge. The dark ones there are the grapplers, and who will also break wall attacks, which is annoying. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a couple other colors, but I don't think there's any in this, because this is a fairly
I love that.
Fairly low level area.
I'm just gonna break his neck and watch him physics up into my dick.
That way you don't have to spend the effort teabagging him. It's an auto teabag. And so that's the other way we level up, is doing random achievements in the game. Which are usually you get most of them just playing the game enough.
That's good. Good progression system then. It doesn't feel like you have to grind at any point, but it also doesn't feel like you're too underpowered.
Like, they start off like really basic, you know, oh, kill 10 enemies, get this many hits in a combo, and then it gets to be like, dude, kill this exact vehicle in this exact weather condition with this exact other vehicle.
Okay.
And do it exactly 2 times. And if you do it more than that, you lose the achievement. And it's like, really, game? Why would you do that?
Yeah. As long as there's enough progression that you get to a point where you feel comfortable with, you got all the tricks and stuff.
So I never really used the gut shot in my first playthrough because I was just so worried about using shotgun shells. But it's really, really good because it stops everyone else from attacking for a second, so you can kind of reset and catch your breath and reorient the camera and stuff.
Yeah, you can definitely see that Arkham influence. Again, Arkham Shadow of Mordor, it almost feels to the point that a lot of those superfluous enemies, like the generic warboys in this case, are there just so that there's something for you to continue your combo on while you beat up the heavier dudes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, after the first couple of levels, generic warboys are not a threat in the slightest.
Oh hell, I had times in Arkham when I was trying to do the big crazy fun combo chains and stuff that I'm sitting there going, don't kill the generic guys because you need them to bounce combos off. It was a really weird feeling when you don't want to kill them because you're trying to build up sweet combo chains, and killing them will, ruin the combo.
Yeah, so you're supposed to be able to sneak up on guys, and I actually snuck up on that guy and pressed the button, but I guess it, like, bugged out, and he saw me, like, as I was walking up to do the execution. It was weird. It's the first time I've seen that happen, but it's not too bad, because it's just like, oh, it's just a regular fight now.
Once again, with the really dark areas, though. Maybe it's just my video. Maybe my video is just dark.
No, I mean, they're pretty dark, but, you know, they don't really have indoor lighting aside from flames, since they lost all their electricity and stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's just, as a game, I mean, it feels like it's almost too dark for me, though. I'd be turning up my brightness. That's me.
It's atmospheric. Alright?
Black. Pitch black is not an atmosphere, unless it is actually pitch black by design.
It is a good movie, though.
Yes, it is. I haven't seen the latest one, though. I'm really behind on that.
So this is the main objective of the camp, is we just have to destroy their oil pumps, which I feel like we've talked about this before, but I feel like it's way better to just, you know, take control of them rather than blow them all up.
It would be, because probably really hard to replace in the future.
Yeah, you'd think, but
I don't understand how there's an oil pump in a boat, but hey.
Presumably it was like an oil drilling boat, and it just ended up here, and they happened to find oil. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the question. But is there such thing as an oil drilling boat? A boat that has all the gear to drill oil by staying in place?
I think there actually is, but I think they're only used for like exploratory purposes. I don't think they traditionally do long term with boats, regular boats. I mean, if you want to get kind of technical, oil rigs are capable of floating themselves away wherever they need to go. So they're kind of boats, but...
Can you get upgrades for your car that give you different horn sounds?
You cannot.
Oh.
Most of the horn sounds are actually other factions' cars honking at you. So it's not even upgrades on my car. But since we've finished clearing out Jeet's territory, there's no... Scrotus is all gone. We're going to go finish upgrading his base for him.
Can you ever really cure Scabular Scrotus, or do you just need to remember to tell the people that you're hanging out with that you have it?
I'm not sure, but it's certainly one of those things that sounds like it's got a treatment. But yeah, so
you gotta disclose to people that you got Scabular Scrotus.
So building the projects for him is how you level up, but the projects also almost all benefit you. Refill your health, refill your water canteen, refill your gas, refill your ammo.
Yeah.
Get scrap from destroyed cars for you.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't really be a video game if you weren't benefiting in some way. Otherwise, it's just kind of a...
Yeah, and the other nice thing is as you level it up, every time you show up there, it does it, but it takes time to refresh the resources between visits. So as we level it up, it actually reduces that time between visits to refresh resources. And when it gets fully leveled up, you can see they built a lot more housing here in the middle and got some roofs on and stuff like that.
So as you do stuff, it kind of...
They actually physically build up the base. They put, more shade in, they put more housing in.
More people come to live here because you're improving the quality of life that can be offered.
Yes. Which I always thought was a nice touch. But when you get it up to fully leveled up, it's like 5 minutes between project refreshes. So anytime you're actually playing and you do anything, you can just be like, oh, I'm just going to fast travel back to the stronghold and refill all my resources. Except this. Fuck this. So scrap is really hard to come by. And if you want to fully upgrade everything, you have to spend 3,000 of it just giving them a stockpile of scrap in case they need to fix stuff in the future. Which is complete bullshit, and I hate it. Because it's just...
So does that mean stuff breaks? Like, upgrades actually will break over time, and you have to either replace them or repair them?
No, it's just like, I guess for building all the housing and stuff.
Oh.
And making sure, like, all the day-to-day stuff runs smoothly, like their big drawbridge gate and things like that. But it's just so expensive to actually finish it out.
It sounds like the base building in Fallout. It was really interesting the first few times, and when you're up to number 6 or something, it's just a case of I'm using all these fucking resources, and it's fucking taking me ages, and I'm having to go and pick up teddy bears in order to get plastic. It's weird.
But yeah, so now Jeet's as good as we can get him. His stronghold's fully built up. He's got quite a few people here, actually. I mean, this is like...
Yeah.
You didn't see it originally, but this is probably like 10 or 20 times, or like probably like 10 times the amount of people he had when we first got here.
To stay on the Fallout thing, it looks like Megaton from Fallout 3.
Oh, a little bit, yeah. There's no...
And Jeet's, I take it, he's the guy in the chair.
Yeah.
Look at him, doesn't even have to get out of his chair.
He also has a tendency to yell at you, at least in the early game, until you do some quests for him the whole time and just harass you. Which is the other reason I like him. Yeah, that's Jeet's.